Hello everyone, today I thought I'd make a video for any of you who are going into sixth form or college this year. So basically if you're starting year 12, because I have quite a few things which is kind of advice that I can give you guys which I wish I'd known before I'd started sixth form. So hopefully this video is helpful to you, but obviously I'll probably get comments, but this is just my opinion. Everyone's different, but take everything I say with a pinch of salt as always. But this is just a few things which I've written down which I wish I'd knew before I'd started my A-levels. So hopefully this is helpful, and without further ado, let's just get into the video. So the first thing is quite an obvious one, which I'm sure most of you already know, but that is just that when you start your A-levels, you'll probably notice that it's a much higher workload than it was at GCSE. Despite the fact you're going from doing maybe like 12 subjects to 3 or 4, because you have to learn everything in such greater depth and things like that, you do have a lot more work to do. So there's not really much to be done about that. It's just kind of a fact, and I thought I'd just warn you if you didn't know that you know, you probably will have a lot more work and you'll have to spend longer on your work outside of school than you did maybe when you were just doing your GCSEs and things like that. The second thing I noted is that you get a lot more freedom, and I've been to college and sixth form, so I can say that this is true in both cases, like wherever you go. And basically at A-level you just have a lot more freedom than GCSE, because you still have your structured lessons and everything, but you might get more tasks where you have to just research a project and present it to the class or things like that. So you don't just kind of get taught everything straight from the board and you just write it down. It's a lot more independent, a lot of the learning, and our teachers have told us this is because if you want to go to university, it helps you prepare for that kind of scenario where you have to just like teach yourself some things. So yeah, you get a lot more freedom in sixth form or college. And another thing which goes along with freedom is that you get frees. So I know some people actually got frees at GCSEs, but that wasn't the case at my school. But basically you get free periods in school, which if you don't know what they are, they're basically where you have like set blocks where people may have lessons, but you basically get an hour to do what you want. So if you want to do independent study and work in the library and things like that, you can do. And my main advice here is actually use your frees for work, because when you first get given frees, it's really easy to just use them to like watch Netflix or go on your phone or just chat with your friends. But after a year, I've kind of worked out that if you actually do your work in your frees, then you have more time when you're at home to not have to do work and just kind of chill out. So although at the time you probably don't want to do your work, I just try and get it done, because if you get as much work as you can done while you're at school, then you can like leave your work behind and then just like go and do fun stuff when you get home, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's my tip from experience. Don't use your frees to watch Netflix unless you genuinely don't have any work to do and you don't have a revision or something productive that you can do. My next tip is to revise as you go. And this is a tip I also think I gave in a GCSE video, but I'd say it's a lot more relevant at A-level. As I said previously, you have a much higher workload and you have to learn a lot more at A-level, so I'd really recommend strongly that you revise quite thoroughly after each topic that you do, because then when it comes to your mocks and your real exams, you'll be a bit more prepared, because if you keep going over your notes more frequently, you'll remember them. So when it comes to revision, when it comes to your exams, you won't be like cramming and trying to learn all this information. You'll already know it, so you'll just be going over it and kind of reaffirming it in your head, if that makes sense. So try and revise as you go. Obviously there's sometimes you just can't be bothered, I can relate, but if you do try and be quite ahead of the game in a way and just like go at it, you don't have to do it in massive details. Even if you just kind of condense your notes into like flashcard form or something like that, if you just kind of do something productive with your notes and to revise a topic, it does really help you in the long run. So that's a big tip I'd recommend, and it should make your A-levels a little bit easier. The next thing is about notes, and at A-level, well, I mean, you kind of had to at GCSE, but at A-level, a lot of your kind of classwork just consists of you making notes kind of out the textbook or from the board or whatever that is, or doing your own independent research. And my tip would be, when you're in lesson, just try and write down as much as you can, even if it's in like shorthand and stuff like that. Just get as much of the information down as you can, because like your teacher has like all the knowledge, so just try and like take whatever you can, because you know, they're the qualified ones who know how to give you all the information to get you to pass your exams. So what I do is I literally write down every single thing I can in that lesson, even if it's quite messy, and then when I get home or if I'm ever free, I then write up my notes in like a nice way and highlight it and do stuff like that. So then I've got loads of information, but then because I've rewritten it in a nice form, I know I'll go back and use it. So then when it comes to exams and revision, I already have like good sets of work that I can use to revise, if that makes sense. And my final tip, you're probably all going to hate me for saying this, is just have fun, because you probably don't think A-levels are going to be fun, which is fair enough, but I've actually enjoyed A-levels a lot more than I did GCSEs, and I think it's partly because you kind of get to choose your subjects and you have a bit more control over what you're learning. And yeah, just have fun with your A-levels. I know it's a lot of work, but if you really enjoy what you do, you should have a good time doing it. So yeah, those are all my tips. I hope this video is helpful to you guys. If you are going into year 12 or college or whatever this year, good luck. I hope you really enjoy it, and I will see you very soon with another video.